Watch the Comic News, episode 175. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside Where the Fuck's Your Hat, Mike?
Oh, man, you didn't make any comment about it until just now. I don't know, it's not... I just don't have it on. It's very warm today, and this is one of those different episodes of the podcast that we have to record in the middle of the week, so I was kind of just, I don't know, sweaty from work and just not enjoying life, you know? But here we are.
Yeah, so the episode's up late. I apologize, everybody. It is my fault, but started a new job this week, and things went crazy yesterday. Just crazy.
Like, crazy, like, you're doing an awful job? Or, like, it's just overwhelming?
No, I can explain to you more off camera,
okay. Mm-hmm.
But it was just crazy.
Okay.
So essentially, the delivery company I'm working for has decided to work, or they're going to deliver Sundays now. So I'm going to be working Sundays, and it was the first Sunday, and it did not go as planned.
Oh, okay.
I go into more detail off mic, but yeah, it was a fun day.
Oh, all right. Now I get it. But here we are, without an interview. Sorry, everybody, no interview today. It's just us you're interviewing with. So sit tight. There will be interviews. There'll be more interviews. We haven't done one of these in a while, so DC keeps I'm not looking at the notes yet, but the DC keeps posting all the DC fandom stuff, and even just today, they bet I don't know if you've seen all the actors on Instagram posting Instagrams of like people cosplaying as them. Like they got, The Rock isn't even in a movie yet, but they got him like representing Black Adam. They got Gal Gadot doing the Wonder Woman. They got and then they set the list out of all the people, and there's like, I don't know, it looks like over 100 people going to be part of this fandom thing, fandom, and they're famous actors. And I even saw Val Kilmer tweeted today and said he was going to be part of it. Nobody even remembers Val Kilmer was Batman. Like nobody ever brings him up. They're always like Michael Keaton, Christian Bale, George Clooney. Val Kilmer's name never comes up. Poor guy. But I didn't mind him as Batman. We talked about it before, but it's just funny. They're digging deep.
Yeah, it's funny because it's not that I like despise Val Kilmer's Batman, but he is very forgettable. And honestly, like I completely forgot he was ever Batman until what was it, like 2 years ago when we were talking. And I think you had an interaction with him, and I'm just like, why you, Val Kilmer, why? And you're just like, he was Batman, dude. I'm like, oh yeah, he was.
Right, yeah. I tried to get him on the show once. I messaged him.
Yes.
And he responded to me. I got him to respond, and this is like, I think this was before we were doing a ton of interviews.
Yeah.
So I should reach out to him again, because apparently but he had some issues. I think he had throat cancer at one point. I think he's doing well now. But yeah, I had reached out to him, and he was really sweet about it. He responded and was like, "Mike, I just want you to know that I saw this message. I don't know if I can make it happen, but," I was like, that's one of my, I don't know, I don't think I've ever interacted with like famous people. Well, besides the podcast stuff, but it was very, he didn't have to message me that, like he probably gets a lot of fan mail, I would think, but just to take the time to say, hey, I saw this, just wanted to let you know that I saw it. And I'm like, wow, what a good dude.
Yeah, and I think about my own, like, my personal life when somebody texts me, and then I forget for, like, days.
Yeah.
And I don't get nearly the messages that Val Kilmer does. But,
You might, I don't know.
It'll be, it's like one of those things where, like, I'll see it and be like, oh, yeah, I gotta answer that person. Like, 2 days later, I was like, oh, man, I forgot to text Mike back.
Yeah, it's usually me, everybody. That's who he's talking about, but it's okay. So I caught on pretty quick.
Did you see, too, that Funko announced a new Black Adam pop figure for Big Apple Con?
No.
Oh, so everyone out there, go look it out. It's on their Instagram and everything. It's going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to be available online because there is no Big Apple Con. Mm-hmm. But it was supposed to be exclusive. It is awesome.
Really?
It's him sitting there with like the lightning all around him and everything. It's really cool. So,
man, that does sound awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, they have all this. They have all these exclusives that were supposed to hit the cons, and now they're just kind of sitting in a warehouse.
Yeah, I was actually because they're doing a line of Marvel Zombies Funkos, so of course I gotta have them. And then I saw that there was a con exclusive one for San Diego that went to I think it was GameStop.
Yeah.
And it was GameStop. So I called my buddy up that runs GameStop around here. And I was like, hey, save that for me. And he goes, well, I can only save it for a little bit. You got to get in here. So I got in there and I saw it. And I was like, it's one of those huge ones.
Yeah, the giant. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even realize. And they wanted like $60 for it. And I was like, nobody's come in to ask for this yet, have they? He goes, no. I was like, okay, I don't feel bad having you hold it because I do not want that monstrosity in my house.
You're like, okay, maybe I don't want this. Yeah, those large ones are, number one, they're expensive. Number two, they take up a lot of space.
They're huge. It's amazing. But
the exclusives when they started rolling out, I mean, Hot Topic had them, GameStop had them, everybody had them. But somewhere there's definitely a warehouse full of like solid gold or like bright, I don't know, like painted gold exclusive Howard the Duck pop figures that was supposed to make it to New York Comic Con or something, and there were some Funko executives like, what do we do with all these?
Just wait for Guardians of the Galaxy 3. They will come.
They're like, the gold Howard the Duck that was our thing this year. What are we gonna do?
Well, the biggest news in Funko Pop world is that they're doing McDonald's line.
Oh God!
And I'm gonna be able to get a Mayor McCheese.
Are you serious?
The only thing that matters. Yeah, wait, they're doing
Hamburglar.
They're doing Hamburglar, Ronald, Mayor McCheese, the Constable, and Grimace for the first set. And then they're gonna do a set of Fry Guys, and they're gonna do like exclusive different variant Fry Guys. All I want is a Mayor McCheese. That's all I want.
Do it for Chris.
I'm gonna get it. Like, it's going to be in my life.
Do you have to get it with a Happy Meal, or you just walk in and buy it?
No, they're like just Funkos that you're gonna be able to get anywhere. Like,
you don't have to go to McDonald's for them. See, that was like remember when they did the burger thing, video game thing? It was like, oh, we're gonna get the gamers to show up for these. But also, how do you walk into Burger King to buy a new video game and you don't just say, hey, like, give me 2 cheeseburgers while you're there? It's genius when you think about it.
It is. So first of all, Sneak King, awesome.
Yeah.
The kart racer they did, also awesome. But it would not surprise me if like down the line they like, remember when we were younger and Beanie Babies were the thing?
Oh yeah.
And they did the little Beanie Baby. Everybody freaked out.
When at McDonald's, yeah, and the packaging. Oh yeah, I remember that. We had them. I was one of those people.
Yeah, mini Funkos. That's the next one.
Yep. Watch out.
They're coming.
All right. Well, we got to get through some news, but we do have some video game news today, so I'm pretty excited about that. We don't always get to talk about video games.
And some tabletop news.
I'm
excited about there's not a lot of TV and movie news, but everything else.
Everything else pretty good. Yes. I got a cool D&D story too for you. Let's get through this TV news. The Boys has cast Lamplighter for season 2. We saw some glimpses of Lamplighter in the first season. Shawn Ashmore will play the role. Now, Shawn Ashmore, I know what you're thinking. Iceman from X-Men. But what you also are thinking is that guy from the Animorphs show in the 90s. That's where I remember first seeing Shawn Ashmore. And then he went on to Iceman, which, I mean, he wasn't the worst part of the X-Men movies, so it's probably good casting, I guess. I think he fits the role.
Yeah, and he'll pop up in, like, flashbacks.
Yeah, yep. The gaming news. Yeah, I'm excited for this. Dark Horse and Mantic Games have announced that they will be launching a Kickstarter campaign to fund a Hellboy tabletop role-playing game, and it's using the D&D 5th edition rules. That is awesome. It's going to let players create their own BRPD, or is it BPRD? I think it's BPRD, right? Or no?
No, it's BRPD.
Yeah, BRPD. Sorry.
Yeah.
Agents and face off against occult creatures. That is awesome. I can't believe they. I just assumed they had a Hellboy RPG game out there, but now that they're using the D&D 5th edition rules, that is so cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. And when I first saw it, I was like, how are you going to do a Hellboy RPG? And then I completely forgot about the BRPD. Like,
yeah,
completely forgot. So I was like, this is a cool way to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's going to be awesome. Like, this one's cool. I think I'm more excited for the next one, but this is a really cool idea, and I'm glad that we're seeing not just these properties go into tabletop RPGs, but like this one in particular, and using the D&D 5th edition rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's go.
Awesome. Yeah, I think it's really cool. Mattel and Fandom, creators of the D&D Beyond platform, have announced. Now, is that the D&D Beyond? Is that the miniatures that you connect together, or is that the online thing?
Let me look it up, but I thought it was the app that you can put your characters into.
Yeah, I think you're right. They've announced that they have signed a multi-year deal to create a He-Man tabletop role-playing game using the Cortex Prime system. The game is going to be called Legends of Grayskull, Masters of the Universe role-playing game, and is set to be released in 2021. Awesome. So something about the He-Man properties it's just popping up all over this year between the new Masters of the Universe and action figure lines and stuff, and now we're getting a role-playing game. So that sounds pretty cool.
So first, it is the app that you can use that holds everything. Awesome app if you're a D&D player. Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is awesome. Like, I'm so down for a Masters of the Universe tabletop RPG. I've thrown out the bat signal already. When this comes out, we need to figure out how to do a show with this. Like,
oh yeah,
it needs to happen.
Yep, I want to play He-Man.
It's like.
No, I want to be Man at Arms. I've always, even as a young lad watching that show, I've always wanted to grow up and be Man at Arms. We just got to find someone to be a Snarf.
I will be your Snarf.
Oh, Chris is going to be your Snarf. People who don't watch He-Man are so confused right now. How can you have a character named Man at Arms and Snarf and take it seriously? Well, believe me, it was serious shit back then.
It still is serious shit.
Oh yeah.
So it hidden in this like news blurb was they talked about the Kevin Smith cartoon and a few other things, and it basically confirmed. Now this might have been confirmed before, but this is the first I've seen it, that they're basically kind of rebooting He-Man and really pushing to like make it a thing moving forward. So
cool.
Yeah, bring it on.
I think it's a bad thing, that's for sure.
I want this game.
Yep. Now this was the announcement. I was freaking out. I was sending this poster to people, and they're like, "What is that?" I'm like, Rocksteady Games, the makers of the Batman Arkham series that is known and beloved by all, and 100 out of 100 on PCGamers.com, whatever. Great games, by the way. I'm not making fun of them. They are amazing games. They've announced that they're making a Suicide Squad game, and they're going to show more at DC Fandom. But the cool part was that the way they announced it was a poster of Superman and a crosshairs on Superman's head. And I know in the past they said that they didn't want to do another superhero game, but if this is like a Suicide Squad, so you're gonna have multiple characters, right? And the crosshairs on the soups means maybe they're the villains. Like you're in a different perspective. And that would be really cool. I have high hopes for this. I'm really I don't know.
So this has been like what Rocksteady's doing has been like a thing for years now. It's gone from like everything from a Damian Wayne Batman game to a Superman game to a Justice League game set in the Golden Age to everything.
Yeah.
So my biggest happiness here is that they finally announced what the fuck they're doing. Like,
yeah, because we've been speculating for years. People are like, "Oh, well, maybe they won't do Batman, but you'll get to be Superman," you know? And they're like, "No, we don't want to do soups anymore." But
so, and it seems like the WB Montreal is going to be doing something Batman related. So which is cool because it might be core vowels.
Mm-hmm.
What I hope this is have it be nothing to do with the Arkham games. Like, do that style, do whatever, but just do an alt universe thing and let us kill the Justice League. Like, flat out, your mission is to kill and we kill the Justice League.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
That would be awesome.
Or kill Superman. Yeah, gotta kill Superman. Yeah.
Even if it's just Superman, but yeah, just let us kill heroes. Like, true, make it count heroes, not just like, oh, you killed. Who's a low-level DC? I was gonna say Blue Beetle, but I didn't want to offend you.
Oh no, Blue Beetle's fine.
Don't be like the main. You're trying to kill Blue Beetle. Like, no, let me kill Batman. Let me kill Superman. Like, let me make the Kryptonian bullet. Like, let's do it.
I was gonna say kill Robin because apparently that doesn't seem to matter within DC either. So
the whole game's just killing Jason Todd again.
Jason Todd over. I'm really excited. I was not expecting this. It's one of those things that like you didn't know you needed until it was announced. So
yeah, I'm really happy about this. I love Rocksteady. Like, those Batman games are phenomenal.
Especially so good. I 100%ed Arkham City because that game was just amazing.
I still go back.
Arkham Knight. I can't remember.
I still go back and play Arkham Asylum. Like,
yeah,
that game is. So I'm a big fan of Metroid and like the newer what people know Castlevania to be, like Symphony of the Night. And Arkham Asylum is the 3D version of those games. Like, when you really look at it, it is a Castlevania or Metroid game done in that 3D perspective, and I love it. Like, yeah,
that's awesome. Yeah, I actually never played Arkham Asylum. I should check it out.
Oh, highly recommend.
I played the later ones.
Hey everybody, Chris here. Just want to take a quick break from the show to remind you all that if you go to fortressofcomicnews.com, there's a banner at the top for Amazon. If you use that Amazon banner, we get a little kickback from it as an advertising fee. So if you do any of your purchases on Amazon, we would really appreciate it if you would use our banner to do all your purchases. That way you can help out the show, help out us, and get all the awesome things you buy on Amazon, including comics, DVDs, everything. So remember, go to fortresscomicnews.com and use that Amazon banner on the top. Thank you all so much for listening, and let's move on to the rest of the show.
All right, we'll jump into the comic book news. DC Comics announces that they're doing 2 new Tales from the Dark Multiverse one-shots in November. The first is a retelling of Batman Hush by Philip Kennedy Johnson with art by Dexter Soy. And the second is Flashpoint by Brian Hitch. I think that's pretty cool. Get a new twist on these stories.
Yeah. So this has got to be that book that Brian Hitch was talking about last week.
Yep. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It has to be. I don't think you're doing more than one.
So we both love Tales from the Dark Multiverse.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about them. And I am becoming a bigger and bigger fan of Philip Kennedy Johnson. Like, everything he does that I've read has been phenomenal. So I'm down for him being a part of this. Yeah. So, and these are 2. Hush will be a weird one.
Yeah, it's interesting.
But I like the idea of redoing Flashpoint and like Thomas Wayne Batman just like stabbing Flash in the balls or something.
Don't let you write it, please. Don't let Chris write that Flashpoint. Jesus.
And then he walks up to the Joker and gets down to business.
Injustice Year Zero has officially been announced. The first 3 digital issues will be available August 18th. But somehow they're online already. I don't know.
Well, I know there's a preview up online, like an 8-page preview.
Yeah, I think there's. Well, I thought I read 3 separate chapters online from it, so I don't know if it's out yet or not. But anyways, we'll talk about that and stuff we read. But yeah, so I'm excited for Injustice Year Zero. Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips have announced that their next project will be a series of original graphic novels. The first is going to be released December 16th, entitled Reckless. The series is going to take place in 1980s LA and follow a private eye named Ethan Reckless, what a name, who will take any case for a price. But his latest case hits a little too close to home. This sounds like an 80s movie.
Yeah, so real quick, I want to back up. They are available right now. So that's my fault. The article I got it from said August 18th. So yeah, Injustice Year Zero out now. Check it out.
Because I thought that's what I read
tonight. So.
Yeah, because I did read them digitally this week, and I didn't know if that was I didn't know if they were previews or what. They were shortened 3 chapters, but
yeah, because it's done in the digital model that DC's been doing. So yeah.
Yep, they're broken up in smaller pieces, but so I will say it's released. Go check it out. Really good stuff.
Yeah. Reckless. I believe it says written by Ed Brubaker and art by Sean Phillips.
Yeah.
So I'll be buying it. That's all I needed. But the story seems the style of what they do. I'm not trying to say everything they do is the same, but they definitely they have that what they're known for: criminal, incognito, pulp. It is what it is, and I love it. And I will be buying all of these. So I'm so down. I'm just glad they're going to continue to work together because they are a magical duo.
Oh, yeah. They're like, hey, we could just make our own stuff and people will buy it.
Yeah. And I was reading somewhere because they have a deal for Criminal. Anyone that's read Criminal, it's one of the best crime comics ever. And so people are like, why are they making pulp? Why isn't all this this seems like it could be a criminal story.
Yep.
Because they could. And it's because they have a deal to make a TV show for it somewhere. And if they just do that and, let's do it reckless and set it in the 80s, now it's not criminal and we can sell it somewhere else. Right. It's funny how these deals affect things. But yeah, I'm down.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Marvel has announced that this November, Christopher Priest, alongside artist Stefano Landini, will be giving John Walker a new series titled U.S. Agent. Anybody?
Fuck. Yes.
Anybody? Nice.
More of this, less of everything else. U.S. Agent rules.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
It's almost like he's going to appear in a show called Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh, they're preparing us. They gotta be like, this character's coming. Here's everything you need to know about him. Now be invested.
And Christopher Priest rules. Amazing writer.
Yeah.
So,
very sad news. Manga artist and icon Jiro Kuwata passed away at age 85. He's known mostly for his series Phantom Detective, but most of us will know him from the Batman manga series, and that art is so good. It's the manga style 60s Batman, and it is good stuff.
Yeah.
So
I've never read it, but I've seen images from it, and I need to read it. It looks really good.
I read it a long time ago, I think. It was one of those things I sat down and binged through, and I just can't remember. I remember the art being really good. I like you said, it's been years, and I got to go back and read it all.
Yeah.
But yeah, so very sad. 85 is kind of up there, so hopefully he had a long and prosperous life, and I'm going to reread that manga. So
it's like I always say, though, 85. That seems like a good number.
Yeah, it's a good number. I think it's above average.
Yeah, it's above average.
Not too long,
Yeah. And it's different for everybody, but right. I wouldn't want to be that person getting super old and falling apart.
Yeah.
And I watched my grandfather do it, and it seems like it sucks. So hopefully he was still, running and doing everything that a young man can do up until the day he turned 85 and just went.
I tell you,
that's what I want.
I'm not 85 and I don't run. You're like, hopefully he was running and stuff. I'm like, wow, I stopped that one pretty early.
Yeah, I've gotten to the fat stage where when I run to the car, I start getting the sweats. So
I just start breathing and I start sweating. It's not a weight thing; it's an out of shape thing. And with that,
combination of the two. For
I've
me,
been doing yeah. Well, I've been doing my comic book reps, so we could at least talk about what we read and not how we've been exercising. So I'm going to jump right into it. There's quite a bit here. I'll start with Batman 96. That's James Tynion IV. Yeah, so Bruce is like, or Batman is poisoned with some like fear toxin, so he's seeing some crazy shit. We're getting like him in a hallucinogenic state where he's seeing an older Bruce with a cool looking like blue style bat suit, which looks really awesome. Joker's got his goons all over the city because he's taken over the Wayne Foundation and all the money. Batman wakes up after he was like tripping out, but he still hears Alfred's voice, so he thinks that Alfred is still alive. But he's like, it might just be like the after effects. Harley finds Batman and helps him. She's actually alive. Oh, what a twist! And she's actually really jealous of the new person that has taken over in her spot, that the new Joker girlfriend. So basically, Joker doesn't really trick. He kind of makes it obvious for Batman. He wants him to go to the theater because he's playing The Mask of Zorro. And as he gets to the theater, there's all these dead people sitting in their seats. Well, they're not dead people. They're like Joker zombies, and the next issue is gonna have to fight them. So that's where that issue left off. Not bad. I'm enjoying it.
One critique.
Yeah.
Tynion, keep Alfred dead. Seriously, like explore Batman without Alfred. Do not resurrect him already.
Yeah, he's kind of doing it. He's been exploring it, but this whole thing of like him hearing his voice in his head, I feel like it's gonna like transition back to Alfred being alive. So we'll see where that goes. Strange Adventures #4 by Tom King. Have you read that one?
I didn't get a chance to read that. No.
Okay. So Mr. Terrific is still doing the investigation. He goes to Ron, and he looks at the Ron files of the history, but he also looks at the Pict. And the Pict, they keep saying, oh, we can't translate it. The language is very old, and nobody knows how to translate it. So he translates it because he's a genius, and they like get pissed at him because they're like, you weren't supposed to see that side of history. You know, they always say history is written by the winners, right? So it's a little true here. So something is definitely going on. A lot of stuff is hidden, and he asks where the leader of Ron. He goes, "Where's your granddaughter?" And they don't like that when he starts asking. Strange. He needs to get to Ron. This is in the past, so they show Strange as he's trying to get back to the planet. He goes to Green Lantern for help. Green Lantern's like, I won't have you interfere with the war because technically that's against my code as a against the Green Lantern Corps. And it's like, oh, okay, that's pretty interesting. Then he goes to Soups, and he doesn't want to help him. Superman's like, I got so much other stuff to do, and it's like an 8-day trip to fly you out there, and I have to protect the Earth, which is, I mean, that's pretty reasonable. Yeah, so, and then we find that, Mr. Terrific's being met with hostility as he's trying to investigate. And then the issue ends with Terrific coming back to Earth, and Strange's wife is there and asks him to stop the investigation, and that's how the issue ends. So he's definitely turning over some stuff that doesn't want to be turned over. I wish we could just figure out what he's getting at here, Yeah. It's like he's dangling the carrot. Pretty much.
Gotta get 12 issues, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. That's what it is. Justice League #50. Did you read that?
I didn't realize it was out this week. Okay.
There's a conclusion to the war thing. The whole war on that new planet they're on. It's basically they pretend to be enslaved, and the Justice League does, and it forces the planet to come together when they realize that they're being exploited by the original ruler. So, like, the ruler says, "Oh, I pulled a fast one on you. I hypnotized all of you." When they, and then reveals her big plan because she thinks she's hypnotized the Justice League or took mind control over them, and basically they just projected what she was saying over the big screen so the planet could see what they're doing. Like, oh wow, the ruler is actually a piece of shit. The Justice League's just, not as much of a piece of shit, I guess. And so they see their ruler for who she really was, and they weren't mind controlled, and so they save the planet, and they go. Everybody lives in peace, pretty much. So that's how that gets wrapped up. And then we had Legends of the Dark Knight #1 come out. Some little interesting stuff in here. I will say this: they definitely didn't. A lot of these characters, and this is like this is just the montage or all these single stories about the different evil Batmen.
Yeah, it's the Dark Knight's death metal
Legends
one shot. Yeah.
The stories are not the same length. Like one story, and I'm talking mostly about the one I was most excited about, the B-Rex, the Batman Rex. Doesn't seem like a finished story. It was like 2 pages. Right?
So this definitely felt like it should have been like the part about my new favorite word to say, Batmanhattan.
Batmanhattan, yes. Yeah, we'll say that's pretty, Batmanhattan. Yep.
I feel like that story was just meant to be a part of death metal proper, and it like kind of got cut and put into this.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like. Yeah, it seemed like something from the main story. I'm like, this isn't really a new. But anyways, continue. Yeah,
that was my favorite part of the whole issue. Was that, and mind you, that was like half the issue. The story about like the Batman becoming the Gotham was okay, and then I don't even remember what the other one was. They were very not memorable. But the T-Rex one, if we remember, was it Garth or no Warren? Warren Ellis was supposed to write it, and it got scrapped. So I almost feel like this was a rush story, just because it was solicited as going to have a Batman T-Rex story in it, so we have to put it in there.
Right.
But yeah, it was like 2 pages. Like
it was 2 pages, and it wasn't even like the way it wrapped up. Nothing happened, and nothing was resolved, and it was like, where's it? I was like flipping through, like, where's the other page?
Yeah. So that was a disappointment, and then like the Mad Max Fury Road Batman was
the monster truck one.
Yeah, that was a weird one too.
But, yeah, where he like put his consciousness into a vehicle.
Yeah,
that was interesting.
But that first half I really liked. Like,
yeah, the Batmanhattan thing was good. I loved this man, this city was a nice reference to Fantastic Four. The way it was written out, there was a whole big thing of where I think he becomes the city or something, right? But this man, the city is a reference to that Fantastic Four cover. It was Fantastic like 88. This man, this monster. So that was pretty cool. Robin King was being a young crazy Bruce Wayne. That was interesting. I liked it more than I thought.
That was the one I forgot about. Yeah.
Yeah. And then Garth Ennis, where Batman becomes a baby, was kind of... he just starts crying. That was kind of weird.
Yeah, that was
strange. I think Garth Ennis was just making fun of how many times like Batman just keeps cloning himself and going into a new body, and he accidentally goes into a baby. And he's like, but I'm Batman. I can do whatever I want, but all he can do is cry because he has no like control over his muscle movements yet. I thought that was pretty funny. I think it was Garth Ennis was like, oh, yeah, I'll do a superhero story. Just wait and see. You're all a bunch of babies. I don't know. There's some deeper meaning there that I haven't figured out. I was a little disappointed by it, but there's some good stuff in there. Like the Batmanhattan story, like you said, was really good, and it's really fun to say. So, Gunland #3. This is that book that is being adapted for the U.S. Where it's like people riding dinosaurs in the Wild West. So she gets attacked. There's the little girl that's healing and hanging out with the bounty hunter's friend that's protecting her. They discover where she is, these bandits, and they attack. And she ends up, because she's been training, she ends up kicking their ass, and she steals their T-Rex. So she has a pet T-Rex now, which is awesome. So all the T-Rex I was missing in Batman, or the Legends of the Dark Knight, I got in this book. The brothers are still, one of the brothers is still in jail. That's why he hasn't come back to find the little girl. The other brother breaks him out, and they have a big fight with pterodactyls, like the like laws riding these pterodactyls, and they steal one. It's a pretty awesome fight, and that's how the issue wraps up. Rogue Planet #3, you read that last week. They like you said, they're still in Schitt's Creek, and it's not getting any better. And yeah, but they kill everyone. They kill the whole tribe, which is kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
They just murder all of them. It's like, wow. I'm like, I remember you told me, like, oh, they slit their throats, but then, like, they murder the entire... They just open fire, and I'm like, wow, they're all dead. Oh, okay. I mean, damn. Yeah, so I'm curious to see where it goes from there. And then Injustice Year 0, 1 through 3. I know Chris hasn't read these yet, but each 1, 2, and 3 is separate stories. The main story, though, is it's all about relative to Injustice, but the one that really matters is about the JSA. They're having a party for the JSA. And it all revolves around the JSA. So there's a big party in the Justice League Watchtower, and there's a scene where like Batman and Wildcat duke it out, and Wildcat kicks his ass. So it's really funny. But they're trying to celebrate, like, we wouldn't be heroes without the JSA. It's like a really nice remembrance of the JSA, something you wish you had in the current continuity. But Joker comes and captures a guy in Arkham, claiming that he has the power to have someone become a god, and I think the idea is to take down Superman. Like, if you break me out of jail and I get to see my son, he's this old guy in his 80s and he's been labeled terminally ill, so he lets him out and he's like, I can give you this power, blah, blah. And then he starts telling the story of how the secret about how the JSA won World War II and how Hitler's suicide wasn't his own decision. So we're getting, and then we see this old, the JSA and the World War and stuff like that. So we're going back in time to figure out what this big secret is about Hitler and how they got him to kill himself. So it's really cool stuff. It's nice to see the JSA. Obviously, there's still some touches of the Injustice universe in there. It's really good stuff. I can't wait to see what they're going to do with it. So, I mean, it doesn't feel like, oh, God, this stuff again. It's new and fresh, and all these characters are awesome. So, can't complain about that. And that's what I read this week, Chris.
Cool. So I read the first issue of Sidekick for Hire. This was a Kickstarter that I think you also contributed to a while back. And so first of all, this is the world we should live in, because the whole background is that there's a bunch of heroes out there, but they're really just millionaires and billionaires who read comics and decided, I'm going to be a superhero.
Yeah. So
this kid in college decides he's going to put up a Craigslist ad and become their sidekick for hire. Okay. So they pay him to come out and fight crime with him, and something goes very wrong, and it traumatizes them. It was a really great first issue. I've got the second one over here too, and I got to read that, but it was really cool, and if you can find it, I recommend it. Empyre #4, Avengers fighting plant people. It's a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. Next.
Captain America 21. It sucked.
Oh, man.
DCeased Dead Planet #2. I'm trying to remember because I read this. Oh, yeah. So it starts off with Red Hood and, like, this really, like, I can survive in the afterlife sequence, and then he just dies. And that's when John Constantine shows up with his team from the first issue.
Oh, okay.
And they find out that not only is there a sanctuary in Gotham that Poison Ivy has created, but there's a similar force coming from Australia. And so basically Swamp Thing comes and says, like, there's something going on there, we need to investigate it, and they go down there. And when they get there, they don't find what they think they're going to find. And there's a amazing sequence. So they find this fortress, and it's surrounded by the dead, fire, and what looks like a lake of blood.
Oh.
So they decide to just fly over and go and see what's in there. Well, the lake of blood isn't a lake of blood. It's actually Plastic Man.
Oh.
So he's also been affected by the anti-life equation, and when they go to fly over it, Plastic Man reforms and slowly starts to eat people.
Damn.
It's amazing.
That's awesome. That is so cool.
Yeah. And
awesome.
That's basically how it ends, with us, what looks like Constantine about to be eaten by Plastic Man.
Okay. No big deal.
Love Dead Planet. It's awesome.
Cool, man.
Goddamned #2. This is the Goddamn the Virgin Brides #2, sorry. And this it follows the first issue where these two girls have run away, and now they're trying to survive and get away from these different factions of women that the elder tribes people have been sending out. So there's these like warrior women that think that they are warriors of God and warriors of angels, and they go out to find these little girls, and the little girls trick them and end up killing them.
Oh.
That's basically the whole issue. So it's these little girls trying to get away from what we would call sex trafficking.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes place in Bible time, so it's all for God.
Yeah. That makes it better.
Yeah. Jason Aaron definitely has a point to make in this
series. Yeah, for sure.
And then my last issue or comic was Undiscovered Coutnry #7. And what's very interesting about this issue is we get kind of a backstory as to how this version of the United States came to be. And where the character of Uncle Sam came from. So he used to be a representative that was trying to warn people that if we separate too much inside the wall, that things will kind of go awry, and basically what happens. And the president just says, nah, like, we're not worried about it. We'll talk about it another time. And then we flash forward to the current, and our characters are trying to make their way through the United States. They go to this place, and basically they're on a train, and weird shit happens. And then when they get to the end and survive, they end up finding out that Uncle Sam didn't die 2 issues ago, and he's standing in front of them. So there's some weird cloning thing going on. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. It's a very deep, confusing book that it's going to be one of those books that I'm going to have to reread, but I'm absolutely loving. So definitely recommend Undiscovered Coutnry.
Awesome.
And I believe that's it. So with that, Mike, where can people find you on that internet?
They can find me at Fortress Ricker on Twitter. Where can they find you and or the show?
Well, they can find me at Fortress Chris at social media, whatever it is. And you can also find me at chrisrunt.com. That's CHRISRUNDT.com. And the show can be found at fortresscomicnews.com. That's where everything posts right there. You get the YouTube channel, the podcast, everything. And if you want to go the extra mile, remember patreon.com/Fortress of Comic News. If you're listening to us, 5-star review, whatever podcast you're using. Allegedly, there's new ones coming up. Mike will talk about that later.
Oh, yeah.
And YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, and share, because sharing is caring. So thank you all so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.